Okay, so this is just our non-linear. So your basic parabola shape looks like that. It's just like this is your basic shape. You know it's a parabola because it is x squared. So that's a parabola. Okay. This one here, when you've got a negative there, that would be like your sad face. This one's the happy one going up. This one, y equals x squared plus 1 means you go up 1. So it looks like that. X squared minus 2 goes down 2. So it means you go down 2. It goes up 1. Okay. All right. So remember, you know it's a parabola if it's got an x squared, and the shape of the parabola is like that. It's the same on both sides. So, okay, so let's just look at filling out the table. So I always like you to start at the positive first because it's easier to calculate. So if you put x equals 3, then y would be 3 squared, which is 9. You can put brackets around that, but you don't need to. It's only when it's a negative. If you put in x equals 2, you go 2 squared, which is 4. X equals 1, 1 squared, which is 1. So that's 4, 1. 0 squared, which is 0. Now, when you put in the minus 1 squared, you've got to put the square outside the minus 1, outside the bracket. That will be 1. Minus 2 squared, which is 4. And minus 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, so see how I do have the square outside the bracket there. Okay. All right, so looking at this now, the next thing that we have to do, I just want you to notice one thing too. Do you notice that either side here, like you got 9 and 9, then you got 4 and 4, so it's very symmetrical. You got 1 and 1, and then you have 0 in the middle. Okay, so plotting the points. So you go across to 3 and up to 9, across to 2 and up to 4, across to 1 and up to 1, 0, 0, minus 1, 1, minus 2, 4, minus 3, 9. And if you draw the line through that, notice it is a parabola. Notice that on either side, like you've got your, everything's the same. So you've got your 4 and your 4. You've got your 9 and your 9. And then you have your, on either side here, you have your 1 and your 1. And then you have your 0 in the middle. Okay, so it's 2. So let's just look at the next one. So this one. Okay, so let's fill out that table of values. So I'm going to start at the positive. So first we're going to put in x equals 3. So that's y equals, now the rule is x squared plus 1. So you go 3 squared plus 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 will give you 10. So the first one in there will be 10. Then we're going to do 2. So it's 2 squared plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So that one would be 5. Then we're going to do 1. 1 squared plus 1. 1 times 1 is 1, plus 1 is 2. 0 squared plus 1. 0 squared is 0, plus 1 is 1. Now, the other ones on the other side are exactly the same. So it's 1, 2, 5, and 10. You could, I'll just put it in so that you can see it. When you put in the minus 1, you need a bracket around it. And you need the square, not just a bracket around it, you need a square on the outside so it squares the negative. 1 squared will give, minus 1 squared is 1, plus 1 will give you 2. Minus 2 squared plus 1, minus 2 squared is 4, plus 1, which will give you 5. Minus 3 squared plus 1, minus 3 squared is 9, 9 plus 1, which gives you 10. So notice they are the same on either side. Okay, so you go across to 3 and up to 10, across to 2 and up to 5, across to 1 and up to 2, 0, 1, and then they're the same on each side. Across to minus 1 up to 2, across to minus 2 up to 5, and across to minus 3 up to 10. So when you draw this through, notice that it does go through the number 1, which makes sense because this parabola, y equals x squared plus 1, it goes up 1. Because if you sketch y equals x squared plus 1, that's just a normal parabola, but it's going to be shifted up 1. And notice it is also the same on each side. So you notice that it is 5 and 5. And it would be 2 and 2. And then you have 10 and 10. So it's extremely symmetrical. Okay, now this one we've just got to match these up. So let's just match them up. So you go x squared minus 4. So that would be the parabola down 4. So that would have to be C. X squared plus 2. I think we need a different colour for this. X squared plus 2. So that would be the parabola, and it would go up 2. X squared minus 5. That would have to be down 5. So that's B. That one was D. And the last one, x squared plus 3, that would have to be A, which is up 3.